Hi Stampers, it's Gigi with Stamp Fanatics, and today I have this really cute card. It's a Get Well card, and I'm using the stamp set Back on Your Feet. It just has the cutest little animals, and I love the turtle. My mom was a big fan of turtles, so that drew me to this set right away, and hope things get better soon, or hope you're back on your feet soon is what I thought for this one. So we're going to be using today a piece of thick card Whisper White. So I'm going to use a thicker one than their regular to use as a card base. It just works a little bit better. And then I'm using a piece of our Mosaic Mood. Now this is the beautiful hummingbird that sort of has a shine to it. And I'm using this side because it kind of reminded me of a tortoise shell. So I'm going to be adding this on. I'll just add some snail. I'll add that to the card base. Let's move that over a smidge. And there we go. All right, then we're going to take a piece of Whisper White, and I'm also going to be using our granite, let's see, it's called Gray Granite cardstock, and I'm going to first stamp with some black memento ink for my cute little turtle. I'm just going to do that right in the middle. And then I'm going to take out my Big Shot and I'm going to run this through and also a piece of our Gray Granite cardstock. Now, I'm going to be using a lot of our framelits today. I'm going to be using, for the turtle and this, okay, let me show you what I'm going to use. I am using, let me get them. All right, we're going to be using the layering squares, which are these, and I'm going to be using this one, so it's the second down from the large one, as a scallop piece with my Gray Granite. And then I'm going to use a piece of my stitched framelits, and that's these stitched shapes. I'm going to be using the second square, so I can get a little stitch shape around my turtle. And I think that looks pretty good. Go ahead and put my plate on top and let's run it through. So we're going to get a nice stitched edge on this square, and then we're going to get a nice scalloped edge behind it. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my saying on a piece of Whisper White, like this. And let's close that up. And I'm going to show you a little trick on these framelits this time. All right, back with the Big Shot. I'm going to use, for the back, that's this Gray Granite again, I'm going to be using, these are the Stitched Nestled label dies, and these are brand new in our catalog, and I'm using this second largest one to cut out a piece of my Gray Granite. So that'll be my background. So all these pieces cut and ready, and I'll show you how quick this card is to make. And then I have rectangle stitch framelits, and I'm going to be using this one. That's sort of, I guess, the first one in the whole series there. And I'm going to show you a trick that you can do to bring down the size when you don't need this big, long rectangle. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to go ahead and line up my saying, and I'm going to line it up on the left side so it's pretty close to the end there. Let's see if I have it straight. And let's run it through. So first you're going to go very close to the left side of your saying, and it'll come out like that. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to put my right back into the top and bottom part of that frame, and I'm going to bring it down and over, go over a little quicker, a little closer, and make sure it fits back in the groove where you cut, and about the same distance on the words. And then this part will get cut off and you'll have just the perfect size for your saying. And so I'm cutting off this little bit. Let's see, it's sticking. But now I have the perfect size for my saying. Isn't that cool? All right. Okay, now we're ready to bring in our card base. And we are going to first color our turtle. And I'm using for my turtle the light and dark granny green combo blends, and also the dark gray granite. So let's go ahead and color the inside. I'm coloring is gray. And this is just some blend coloring. These are alcohol markers, so they dry pretty quick, which we like. And I used black memento ink, remember, to do the outline because then it won't smear. All right, then I'm gonna take my light granny green and I'm gonna do his head. I think this guy is so cute. Like I said, my mom used to love turtles, and I actually had a turtle. Her name was Shelly, how appropriate. Used to be a teacher, and so I used to have her in my classroom with the kids, and she loved it, and the kids loved her. So it was a lot of fun, and they learned how to care for an animal. And I actually found Shelly, I think it was just walking along the road, and there she was, a little baby turtle. Well, she wound up getting bigger, and so eventually she had to go, and we found a nice home for her with a guy who had a huge terrarium that had another turtle that needed a friend. So we felt pretty good about that. So that's where Shelly wound up. And I did a little bit of the toenails there. And then I did on the inside part of the shell, because I wanted to do the square parts of the shell in the darker green. So I'm just gonna kind of go along and get that part colored. And then let's go to the darker green, and we'll go ahead and fill those in. And I used the darker green also for some of the shading that I did on the turtle, and I'll show you what I mean. Like right here where it has a little bit of outline and a little bit on his legs, and I got a little bit there and some up there and there. I think that was about it. And I want to finish coloring in these little shapes on his shell. And then I did like every other one dark and then every other one light, just to give it a little bit of interest. And let me see on the one I did. Yeah, I did this and that, I think that, and around there. And I'm going to go back with my light, and I'm just going to fill in the rest and kind of blend in where I did the darker green, just to give it a little more shading. And it just kind of pulls that color out a little bit into the turtle. And let's go ahead and just color across those and there. And I think we're done. Looks pretty good. And then I took a little bit of my gray granite blend that I used on here, and I just did a little bit using the brush on the outside just to give it a little bit of something. And then I'm going to take my snail and attach that to my gray granite scallop piece. And then we can go ahead and use our dimensionals and put that on. Let me get a new dimensional here. Oh, I've really been going through them. Here we go. We're just going to put it on the four corners, just to kind of balance it out. And we'll go ahead and add that onto the card. And we're going to put them close to the top right there. And then I want to take my ribbon, and I have this beautiful mint macaron ribbon that matches the mint macaron in this card base. And I'm just going to tie a simple bow. And then I'm going to take my scissors. Let's cut it down a little bit. And then I'm going to take a glue dot And I'm just going to add it right to the bottom here. And I wanted to do this part first before I put my saying, so I know how far down I want to go with my saying. So here's my saying, and let me get that little piece that I had cut out before of our new framelits. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to put it right over these top and bottom stitch lines and try to make it even with both ends. Okay, so I'm taking my snail again, and I can reposition this if I don't press down too hard until I get it exactly where I want it. And let's see, we're going to, let's put it on here first, kind of measure it out. Like I said, I'm using those stitch lines as my template. And see, let's see how I did. Nope, still too a little bit low. Let's get that moved up a bit. And then we've got about almost the same amount on either side, so that looks good. And now I'm going to take my dimensionals and I'm going to add 2. And then we're done. This set is so adorable. And I just had a friend who had a surgery on her knee, so she'll be getting this card. And I'm going to put it right at the bottom of my, probably spacing it about the same as the top and bottom, and then right at the ends of my ribbon there. And just keeping it simple and writing in whatever I want to say on the inside. Sometimes that's all there is to say, that I'm here for you, or hope you get back on your feet soon, we said here, so we could say hope things get better soon. And then they have this cute giraffe with the "this is not good," and a sigh from the sloth. What a cute sloth. So that's my card for today. And if you need any of the supplies and you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. You can go to stampfanatics.com, and my host code for June, and I'm putting it past the 15th, so don't read that part. But if you use that host code, I'll send you out a thank you. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe so you get more of my videos, and I hope to talk to you soon. Thank you.